Buy on MTG. Construct your deck. Command your board. Conquer the table.
Hello everybody out there on the wide world of web. This is Rob with Buy on MTG. So I got a little something in the mail today and I was gonna go through it and maybe sleeve it up a little bit. Nah, I'll sleeve it afterwards. So let's go ahead and just start from the top. We're looking at the Wolverine Secret Lair. So I do believe I'm gonna go through and make a deck for each one of these commanders, just fiddling around. And, ooh, thank you for being a part of the Secret Lair. Oh, thank you for actually being available for 5 of the, I don't know, 150 minutes it took to get through to actually make this purchase. Bit ridiculous, but it is what it is. And I think it's certainly not a hot take to say that the Scale Fast website was jacked up. So looking at Wolverine, the best there is. Overall, he does double combat damage, he does +1 counters, and he has regeneration. So there's a couple different things that we could approach with this. Berserk is a standard infect card, so you could potentially lean into Berserk, but Rite of Passage. So overall, I think just top to bottom, doing the +1 counter with Wolverine would be the easiest way to build this deck. So big old clunkety like the Great Henge. I'm not much of a doubling season kind of guy. I think doubling season feels like a lot more of a win more card, but Ozolith is just a beast. And a really good card that would fall within this category would be something like Walking Ballista. So I may put together a list, and heck, I might even replace Bello, Bard of the Brambles, with Wolverine to be my Gruul deck. I am going to come up a little bit closer. This is the secret insert, and they're all Groot apparently across the board, and that's just a cool little card. So I'm going to go to the next one. Up here is Storm. So let's go ahead and see what Storm has. I did not go through and look at all of the additional inserted cards. I kind of wanted to keep it somewhat a surprise to myself. That's why I haven't really gone too in depth on this topic, excluding the first time when these were initially leaked and nobody even knew what they were for. And I feel like a large portion of the speculation was New York City Comic-Con. Okay, Storm, she's 1 green, blue, red for a 3/4 flying vigilance. She has Ceaseless Tempest. Whenever Storm deals combat damage to a player, the next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn has Storm. So definitely on theme. There's a handful of methods like the new Ral Zarek Planeswalker that gives everything Storm. So that is certainly a possibility that could be within this, but I think really you could just look at most Calamax lists, and that would be a good shell to start around this. Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's a good card, but yeah, giving it Storm might be something, but at the end of the day, it's still Bolt, and it's 1-for-1 trades or exchanges in Commander aren't the best. Now this, Storm's Will being Jessica's Will, is just a powerhouse of a card. Really happy to see a reprint of that. Ice Storm is a personal favorite of mine as a degenerate player from the 90s who ran Ice Storm with Stone Rain and Sinkhole and Strip Mines. So plus, I mean, how hilarious is that to rack up a 10 or a 15 Storm count and then hit with her and then Ice Storm and blow up a bunch of lands? That would be hilarious. Aurora Borealis being Manamorphose, that's a good card. It's more of, falls within her though, it's a Storm-based card. And my Groot card in this is Regrowth, and he's with Storm, so that's adorable because he's dancing in the rain and she's just making it for him. She's making it rain. Next up is Iron Man. So let's go ahead and see what Iron Man is all about. I remember reading through him, and when I did the video, he is an artifact-centric card, and I do like artifacts. They're a lot of fun. You can do a myriad of different things with them. A lot of tapping and untapping is how a lot of people approach artifacts. But he is 3 blue-red for a 4/4 flying haste. He is Genius Industrialist. Whenever Iron Man attacks, create a treasure token. Then you may sacrifice a non-creature artifact. If you do, search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. So you get the treasure, so you can immediately sacrifice it and go get a soul ring or go get Sensei's Divining Top, any of the amazing one-drop. Like if you make him into a token builder, he gives you a way to go tutor your Skull Clamp and put it straight onto the battlefield, which is pretty gross. It coming into play tapped can potentially be an issue, but like I was saying earlier, artifacts have a lot of tap to untap artifacts, like the different keys, or just full on unwinding clock that beast. Galvanic Blast, 1 mana instant, do 2 damage, but if you have Metalcraft, it does 4. That's pretty cool. The artwork's neat. I like it. Commander's Plate. Well, imagine that. That's another 1-drop artifact that you can go get after you sacrifice that goofy little treasure. So you can put Iron Man into his Iron Man suit. That'd be cool. Mark whatever, 4 or 8, or mark 8,000,026. That's a good card, though. Soul Ring. I'm going to go a little bit closer on this one. That's really pretty. It's got his arc reactor in there. Yeah, that's just pretty. Next up is the Inventor's Fair. So legendary land. At the beginning of your upkeep, you gain a life. If you have 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. Taps for a color is a 4 and tap, sacrifice Inventor's Fair, search your library for an artifact. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle, activate if you only have 3 or more artifacts. So it essentially has that ability if you have Metalcraft. That's originally out of Kaladesh, and man, this Inventor's Fair has done some serious work, so it definitely on theme with the rest of these cards, and pretty great. This one does not come with a little group card, unfortunately, but it does have a treasure. Oh, maybe it does. Yeah, maybe it does. It just comes with an extra card. Okay. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So apparently Iron Man comes with 1 additional card. Now, granted, it is a treasure token. I don't know what's on the other side. Yeah, Magic Back treasure token. But that's pretty cool. Sculpting Steel with Groot on this one. So that's adorable. And you can have little baby Groot come in as a something. That is pretty cool. So this is Black Panther. Black Panther is next in the chute. He was green, white, correct? Yeah, just straight up green and white. And he is a landfall deck, I believe. Let's read him real quick after I get him freed from his plastic prison. Where am I going to put this? One obscure. I'm just going to kind of tuck it behind there. Black Panther, Wakandan King, 2/2, first strike. Oh, he costs green and white. Survey the realm. Whenever Black Panther or another creature you control enters, put a +1 counter on target land you control. Then he has Mind Vibranium, 3 mana. Move all +1 counters from target land you control onto target creature. If 1 or more counters are moved this way, you gain that much life and draw a card. So, not necessarily hyper-focused on landfall, but he does have land-specific synergies, but more so the man land. So, yeah, the new one that you can activate and it becomes a land forever might be something that's pretty cool in here. But a little bit of the +1 counter synergy, and yeah, he's okay. I'm just not nearly as inspired to build this as a +1 counter deck as opposed to Wolverine. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it doesn't appeal to me the same way as the Wolverine deck does. Secure the Waste. So maybe that's what it's looking at. Yeah. Whenever it or another creature you control enters the battlefield, put a +1. So it wants you to go into tokens. That makes perfect sense now. You lean into Secure the Waste, you make 20 tokens, you put 20 counters on a land, and then you can spend 3 and move them all to something. That makes sense. So Secure the Waste is just an amazing card, white and X, to make X white warrior creatures at instant speed. That's pretty dope. Primal Vigor, green and 4. If one or more tokens would be created, create twice that many tokens instead. If one or more +1 counters would be put on a creature, place twice that many +1 counters instead. I will say, with this ability, putting the +1 counters on target land, it is not going to double it, not going to double the amount of +1 counters unless that land is already a creature. So I will say, if you do have your Primal Vigor out and you're getting ready to do a big, I'm going to dump a bunch of +1 counters out, activate the man land so that way it doubles them off of the Primal Vigor. Heroic Intervention, just an amazing card. I got to scoot this over. I didn't realize I was underneath my dumb face. Heroic Intervention is a great card. I put that in a ton of different stuff. And Karn's Bastion, tap for a colorless or 4 tap to proliferate, which is good. I mean, this deck is doing +1 counter stuff as well, so proliferate the counters. And it also came with a token, but it came with a token. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. The tokens, I guess, just don't count as an additional card. It's a magic back token. So we're going to go ahead and put that on the back. So Iron Man and Black Panther both came with an additional card. Looking at the Groot card, it's got a little Groot on Black Panther's shoulder, and it is a Nature's Lore. So that's pretty great. I'm going to kind of scoot these all over so I can make room for the 5th column, because there is another one of these things to go through. Because we have the emblem, but then we have Captain America. I'm going to do the emblem last because it's an arcane signet. We are all well aware what an arcane signet is. You got an emblem if you gave them way too much money. But I knew I would want these. I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm not a die-hard comic book guy, but I grew up reading comic books, so this does speak to me to some regard. Captain America First Avenger. He costs Jeskai. He's a 4/4. He has throw. So 3 unattached and equipment from Captain America. He deals damage equal to the equipment's mana value divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. And then he has catch. At the beginning of combat on your turn, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to Captain America. So the big thing everybody's talking about is like Excalibur, just equipments that have crazy, crazy high mana values. And Excalibur, I think, is a 12 drop. So you being able to throw it at somebody and then you just move to combat and it re-equips back to him. I think something that would be pretty good in this would be, what's that hammer? I'm going to pop it up on the screen, but that red-white, the Boros hammer that lets you unattach at instant speed to go grab spells and whatnot. I think that would be pretty great in here. All right, we got Captain America's Aid. It's 1 white mana. It's a Sigarda's Aid, so you can cast auras and equipments as though they had flash, and whenever you cast an equipment, it enters. You may attach it to a creature you control, which is pretty great. Flawless Maneuver is another one of the freebie if you control your commander spells. This one doesn't see nearly as much love as the blue one or the black one. So what is that? Fierce Guardianship and Deadly Rollick. But I like Flawless Maneuver. I think anytime I can tell my opponents no Similar to Heroic Intervention, why I love this silly card so much. Anytime I can tell my opponents no, and it's not a blue spell, it brings me joy. It just brings me joy. Next up is In the Trenches. So 1 and 2 white. Creatures you control get +1/+1. 5 and a white. Exile target non-land permanent you don't control until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery and only once. So In the Trenches, it's okay. That's funny. It's got, I think that's Bucky, like the OG Bucky, and that looks like Prince Namor. We got, I think that's Nova in the background, and maybe Human Torch, I don't know. Just a bunch of comic book dudes in the background. That's pretty neat as far as the artwork. I do like that. The Captain's Shield is going to be a Shield of War and Peace as opposed to the Sword of War and Peace. 3, and it's got the standard +2/+2 protection from 2 things, and it does 2 things. So this is +2/+2 pro red and white. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, this equipment deals damage to the player equal to the number of cards in your hand, and you gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. It's got an equip 2, so that's pretty cool. So then we're going to go ahead and put Captain America on there. And the last of the Captain America cards, man, I wish I would have turned my ringer off. The last of the Captain America cards is Masterwork of Ingenuity with, Groot. Overall, this is a really cool thing, and I'm looking forward to putting it together and building a couple of these decks for sure. 100% Iron Man and probably Wolverine. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had a bit of a debacle with cats and the dog out there. It was a bit of a catastrophe. But I was in the middle of opening this Arcane Signet Earth's Mightiest Emblem. And this is what came in it. It's just an Arcane Signet with the Avengers Tower. Looks pretty cool. Not super excited about it as much as some of the other cards, but it was free when you purchased all the other stuff. So I'm not going to turn down a little freebie. Top to bottom, like I was saying, excited about building Wolverine, excited about building Iron Man, kind of excited about Storm. I think that would be really cool and a neat little build space that you could expound within. Never really been much of a token strategy person, so I'm not sure I'm going to build Black Panther, and never been big on artifacts or equipment specifically. So I probably won't build Captain America either, but I certainly wanted to collect the set as it was being released. I'm going to start pushing out some deck lists or deck brew ideas as individual videos as I take the time to iron them out. I think it would be super cool if you have ideas for any of these 3 specifically. You could pop them in the comments down below. I would love to hear either what you are planning on building, or if you've already received yours and you knocked it out and you have these decks sleeved up and you've been putting in the reps with it. Definitely would love to hear all about that. And I'm not sure if you can post comments or links to deck lists in the comments below, but if you can, throw a link down there. I would love to see what lists you've already put together and how they're functioning. I'm always interested to see what other folks have come up with. It's neat, the obscure cards that pop up every now and then. Like I had a pretty fun monkey deck when the banana emblem guy, Kibo. I ran that one for a while, and I kind of went overboard making sure artwork had monkeys in it, and synergy-wise, it synchronized really well. That was a lot of fun to build that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed tonight's video and just wanted to share it because it finally came in, and love to hear what you guys are doing with yours. If you were able to wade through the mess that was ordering that morning. Have a great day. I'm Rob. This is Buy on MTG. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below.